I'm creating horizontal space between myself and the other guy. So the idea is, if I'm going to move this way, if I'm going to hip escape to my right, so I'm on this line here, my left side. So the idea is, the side I'm going to go to, in this case my right, I'm going to drive with my right foot. That's the kickstand, that's the driver, that's the lifting foot. I'm going to rotate on my other shoulder. So if I'm going to my right, I'm using my right foot, and I'm going to rotate on my left shoulder. And what I'm going to do, as I move this way, I'm going to turn my hips. So that again, I'm now facing as much as possible. I'm making this rotation of my hips as I move the hips out. The only thing touching, though, that driving foot and the other shoulder. So what it looks like is this. The idea is, in classic jiu-jitsu terms, a lot of times this is referred to as a shrimp. So at the end, you look like a curled up shrimp. So I'm driving off the foot on the side I'm going towards. That's the driver. I rotate on the other shoulder. Nothing else is touching. I have to get up. It's much quieter. The typical hip escape is this. Very noisy, because my whole body is scraping on the ground. The correct one is much, much quieter. And you will get people who outside, who don't do grappling, who don't do jiu-jitsu, will say, that's fine, Cecil, when you're on the mats. But when I'm out on the streets, and there's asphalt, and there's dirt, and there's gravel, and there's parking curbs, and I've got a big police belt on, or I'm geared up in a military context, I'm wearing a big rig, that gets in the way. So, I'm not a cop, I'm not military. When I first, got those responses, I'm like, you know what? You might be right. I don't know. So what I did was I borrowed some other gear from law enforcement friends. And I went out onto the gravel, and I did it. And guess what? It worked. The reason is because I did it the right way. Yes, if I've got my Batman belt on, my utility belt on, and I do a poor hip escape, yeah, all that gear is going to drag. It's going to grab the asphalt. It's going to grab the gravel, and I'm not going to be able to move. But if I do it correctly, it doesn't matter how much gear I have, because that's not touching. It doesn't matter, because that's lifted off the ground. My driving foot and the opposite shoulder touching. Everything else is off the ground. So it doesn't matter. I've done it. It doesn't matter how you're geared up. It doesn't matter the ground. If you do the hip escape correctly, it works.